Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of Planet Steph. And this episode is going to be talking about my love and my interest for Dragon Ball Z. I'm sure many of you can share in my testament stating that Dragon Ball Z was either one of your first animes or the very first anime that put you on anime in its totality. I know for me, that was literally the first anime that I watched as a kid. And that's actually a memory that I share with my brother Stefan. I remember um, us being little kids just awaiting for that next episode, like for Dragon Ball Z to drop. If one of us was like doing something, we would literally like tell each other, it's on. So like we would rush the TV. Wouldn't want to miss a second or a minute of what was going on. Dragon Ball Z was just so influential on my childhood to the point where I didn't know that there were that those types of animations going on TV, because before Dragon Ball Z had been discovered in my household, we were watching like regular cartoons and stuff like that, and it didn't really hit me the way that Dragon Ball Z did. And eventually, the more I watched Dragon Ball Z and the more that I grew up on it, I realized that I fell in love with a lot of the characters. And within this video, I'm going to share a few characters that to this day have been influential in my life, and ultimately that I'll never part with. They're some of the probably the baddest, the most beastiest, if that's a word, fighters and characters that have influenced my anime love, and will probably make my, if I make a video, my top 50 anime influential characters. So if I was to start somewhere, I would say my favorite arc or saga from Dragon Ball Z would be the Cell Saga. Mainly because out of all of the villains and evil counterparts in Dragon Ball Z, Cell is my favorite. I love Perfect Cell, if I was to say any form of Cell. Something about Cell really spoke to me, even though he had like ill intentions, and ultimately at the end, even in Cell games, he just wanted to fight the strongest fighter. But something about his overzealous confidence really spoke to me. I loved how he was able to back up what he was able to, state, and he always had something to say, and he always could back it up, like with physical ability. And even though for him to get to that point, he had to absorb some, fighters, but ultimately, Perfect Cell is probably my favorite villain, my favorite evil character in the Dragon Ball Z, you know, arc or saga, whatever. And within that same saga, I loved the Cell saga because that's when I really saw how strong Gohan was, like being a teenager, 14 years old, literally carrying the Z fighters on his back because nobody was strong enough to, defeat Cell. Goku got close, but Goku ultimately died, fighting Cell, taking him to King Kai's planet, and using his self-exploding ability against him, but ultimately ended up killing King Kai, killed Bubbles, killed Goku, and Cell came back, even stronger. So when Gohan stepped on the scene and he literally just like obliterated Cell with a broken arm, like that was amazing. And then to have the help of Goku in spirit, like Father Son Kamehameha, that is always like going to be a memorable moment for me in anime. For him to, channel his father's energy as well as stand on his own 2 feet, even being crazily injured the way that he was injured, and still defeat someone as phenomenally strong as Cell. That's amazing. And that will always like go down as like one of my favorite anime moments. And from there, I was automatically thinking, man, Gohan is that dude. He's definitely gonna like get stronger and stronger and stronger. And then that leads me to something that I don't like about Dragon Ball Z and even in Dragon Ball Super. They really made Gohan a punk. And he could have been so much stronger, if they would have allowed him to prosper the way that I thought that he was going to grow with the writing and the animation. But ultimately, no matter who he fought, yes, Gohan is definitely strong, but I feel like there were certain outcomes that happened in the different arcs and sagas that should have went differently. Like with Boo, in my personal opinion, Gohan should have never been absorbed. Gohan should have been able to at least devastatingly damage Boo, not to the point where he got absorbed and now Boo's stronger. Or in fast forwarding to Dragon Ball Super in the Tournament of Power arc, I feel like Gohan should have been one of those dudes that were shutting people down and probably one of the last few fighters not being knocked off to save everybody else. I feel like he could have had like such a more impactful role in the Tournament of Power. But I digress. Um, if I was to say something else I don't like about Dragon Ball Z, not saying that I don't like the Frieza saga. I love Frieza, even though he's annoying sometimes. I didn't like the Ginyu Force too much, especially Raccoon. It was like, dude, shut up. He was just so annoying to me. And I did not like the Ginyu Force because I was like, Frieza, if you're supposed to be this bad dude, why you over here got this posse behind you that is hyping you up, that is like literally there for no reason? You're King Cold's son. You're Cooler's brother. You guys are some bad dudes. You guys are known throughout the universe for how, you know, strong you are. You come from a strong family. You don't need these people. You need the Ginyu Force, but that's my opinion. So that's how I kind of felt about the Ginyu Force. Now, granted, out of that entire spiel, I actually messed with, Captain Ginyu. Something about him, even though the whole force was annoying, I liked Ginyu. He was kind of funny to me. And ultimately, he was a good leader, but I still didn't like the Ginyu Force as a whole. They were annoying. Um, if I was to go through, of course, my favorite characters from Dragon Ball Z, ultimately, my favorite fandom crush to this day, Trunks. Now, some people will be like, Trunks, girl? Like, why Trunks? The reason why I love Trunks is because of how he hopped on the scene and how he murked King Cold. He came from the future, mind you, to warn Goku of a heart virus that he would get. And he was able to deter Goku from going down that road. But before he spoke with Goku, he came on the scene and he murked King Cold. And then he did Burning Attack on Frieza. I was like, who is this dude? And he's got the same blonde hair and the same colored eyes as Goku did when he was on Planet Namek fighting Frieza. Who is this dude? He must be a Saiyan too. And that's where I fell in love with Trunks. And eventually, over time, I started to learn more about Trunks and ultimately fall in love with his character, and then found out who his parents were, Vegeta and Bulma. So that will forever be my favorite character from Dragon Ball Z, and ultimately every anime. Doesn't matter what anime it is, Trunks will forever be my heart. And moving on to like another favorite character of mine, actually two characters fused into one. I love Gogeta. I love all forms of Gogeta, even from Dragon Ball GT, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, especially when they went against Omega Shenron and they completely, defeated him. I love Gogeta. And then also Super Saiyan God Gogeta from this new Broly arc, I completely love that fusion. Now, granted, I like Vegito. I like that fusion from the Patora earrings, but I like something about the actual fusion dance that Vegeta and Goku do, and then they become Gogeta. And something about that fusion is just like super cool. No, it doesn't matter if it's base form Gogeta, Super Saiyan Gogeta, or ultimately this new form of Gogeta, Super Saiyan God. Something about that fusion is amazing. I actually have the Super Saiyan God Gogeta figurine up on my shelf right now, and I share that with my brother. We both love Gogeta so much. I also have Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta on my shelf as well. And then, of course, part of me has a soft spot in my heart for not only Gohan, but for Vegeta, and mainly for Vegeta and his development as a character. Him coming on the scene as Prince of Saiyans, you know, thinking in his head that he's that top dude because his father was King Vegeta. And then him having to literally be humbled by this lowly Saiyan that barely survived because his parents, you know, sent him off from planet Vegeta to Earth. Uh, he was basically, you know, having to understand that he actually wasn't the strongest Saiyan. There was somebody stronger than him. And even though that fuels him and Goku's not only rivalry, but their friendship, it was something within that transition that allowed, you know, Vegeta to really stick with me and how he's really progressed throughout his whole development in not only Dragon Ball Z, but also in Dragon Ball Super. And I'm just so grateful to see his whole development and everything that has transpired with Vegeta. And I wish I could say the same thing for Gohan, even though Gohan has some really clean moments and there has been some character development there for him. But I really wish that there would have been an emphasis on his strength. And even if he became, you know, the strongest Z fighter, surpassing his father Goku, I wouldn't have mind that at all. I think that it would have been suiting for him, since that's kind of what it was seeming like they were leading to in the beginning stages of Dragon Ball Z. But that's my personal opinion. But ultimately, there's so many things I can talk about Dragon Ball Z. I'm probably going to have multiple videos regarding how I feel, not only about Dragon Ball Z, but Dragon Ball Super and even Dragon Ball. But if you like this video, please do me a favor and like, comment, share, and ultimately subscribe to this channel, Planet Steph. This is basically going to help me further content for the future, you know, get you as well as other people engaged in my content, and ultimately may shape the direction that I go into with different videos. And it'll help me understand who my community is and who I'm actually being in contact with. That will definitely help me out a lot. And until then, please be safe, be blessed, and take care.